Hey, what's up guys, it's LOIS here, and welcome back to another video. So, it's been going around the web lately that if you click the like button, then you supposedly win like $1 million, like a pop-up shows up on your screen, and if you click on it, then it'll like give you $1 million straight to your bank account, like right away. No joke, no scam. If you like and subscribe right now, then you will instantly have $1 million, and just to pile on top of that, I mean, you will be really cool, you'll get hella clout. So, I mean, I'm just saying, you don't have to trust me, but, I mean, that's just been going around that'll happen if you go ahead and do that right now, please. But let's get away from that. So you guys remember, like, back whenever you were 12 or maybe even younger, like 10? That was whenever I collected Pokemon cards. And I'm pretty sure all of you guys did it too because it was, like, super cool, right? Like, there would be these overpowered Pokemon cards and your friends would be like, dude, those are worth like $100 or something like that, and you'd be like, bro, really? I'd be rich. But now you're like, oh, well, I mean, it's not really worth it. Who knows? There are probably some nerds still collecting Pokemon cards, but either way, I used to collect Pokemon cards, and I'm just going to go ahead and say how that worked in my experience, because, you know, who doesn't like a good old story about Pokemon cards once in a while? So, I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and play the intro.
Life has got me feeling discombobulated. In place of common phrases, all I say are awkward statements in every conversation.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are looking forward to me talking about Pokemon. So, the first thing that I gotta say here is that I lived in a small apartment complex with probably only kids smaller or larger than me. There weren't really kids in my area, which seems to happen a lot for some reason, but that's besides the point. This takes place in the same exact place as, you know, some of my other stories. So, essentially, this is how Pokemon cards worked. None of us played because none of us knew how to play, and I think that's what happened with a lot of you guys too. You just kind of collected them because they looked cool. So that was what I was about, and at first I didn't really collect Pokemon cards because they were just retarded to me. Like, why would you collect these cards that just have pictures instead of playing the actual game? Like, I was always a game person, but then I started to understand because people were all like, dude, you know this are worth a lot of money if you can collect the really valuable ones, right? I was like, really? I can get money from just collecting these stupid little cards? You know what? I'm down. So he gave me a starter deck, and from there I just kept on collecting and stealing cards, which we'll get into later. But I mean, it was just really cool at the time to go and collect these little tiny cards that could be worth a lot of money, in quotation marks, by the way. You know, most of them weren't worth a lot of money. So I'm just starting out my collection, right, and there's all these tinier kids that have a bunch of cards, and like, they have those big mega cards, but you know, I wasn't really interested in those because anyone can make a big mega card, right? I was interested in the smaller ones because I heard that they were worth more or something, so I ended up only trading the small ones, but I would give away my bigger ones from the packages that you would be able to buy, and I barely had any EXs or Mega EXs, which I think those are what they're called. They might be called something else now, but I only had those certain few. Like, I had the crappy ones that you would get out of the starter cases, none of the ones that you would actually get from the packs. So I would see all these kids with cooler, bigger EXs, and I'd be like, wow, those are so cool. I really want those. So I'd be like, hey man, I'll give you 10 of my cards for this EX, and he's like, no, those are shitty cards, bro. You don't do that. Like, that's just not something that you do. And I'm all like, screw off. I really don't care, bro. I don't want your stupid EXs. And, you know, I'm just crying in the corner because I wasn't able to get an EX. So I eventually started thinking, I was all like, well, if they don't see me take it, then they can't say no, right? So I would do this thing. I would go and I would look at their binders. I'd be sitting down on the bench next to them or whatever, and they'd be showing me their binder of all their cool Pokemon cards, and I'd be like, well, I would want to trade this one in the future, and I'd take it out of the pocket and put it right next to my leg. And over time, while I'm still talking about Pokemon cards, like, well, I would take this one and this one too, I would put those into my pocket. So I would essentially just double my Pokemon value, and then these kids, they'd start crying because they lose their Pokemon cards, and I'd be sitting there like, bro, you want to trade these EXs? I just got them from that kid. He was all like, yeah, sure, I'll trade. And, you know, I was just growing, like, I was the mafia boss there, like, I was the kid with all the Pokemon cards that nobody knew where he got them from. So while I'm on my grind for Pokemon cards, I'm picking up all these cool new Pokemon cards, and I ended up bringing them over to my dad's house, and, you know, there were these bigger kids, and I would always try to impress them. I'd be like, bro, I can do a kickflip on my scooter. I can hop this 7-foot ramp on my bike. Like, I promise, dude. I swear, I'm not lying. So they would think that me having all these Pokemons were cool, and like I would just be able to flex them to everyone that I knew. And I ended up doing that, but you know, sometimes my greed for Pokemon would get the best of me, and I ended up leaving my Pokemon cards, like my entire binder full of all of my EXs and all of my super rare cards, on the side of a road. And I don't know why I did this. Like, I don't know why I wasn't smarter with it. I guess I just thought that no one would take it, but I put it right at the corner of the road, and I ended up leaving it there. So I came back and it was just completely gone. There was nothing there anymore. So I was heartbroken, man. Like, I was about to start busting down crying. And you know, I was a little pussy, dude. Like, I was about to like start crying and run to my dad to try and call the cops to like go and find my Pokemon cards that I left there by being a literal idiot. So, you know, I lost all my Pokemon cards, but just like the gangster I am, I was able to get all of them back just by trading and stealing. So, you know, I still have those to this day, and I feel very good about them because now I can flex them on all the weird kids in my school that have Pokemon cards still and actually still collect them. And I'm just like, dude, you see all these? Yeah, this is worth $100 right here, whenever in reality it's just like worth 10 or something. I don't know, but anyway, the moral of the story is steal stuff, and then you'll have Pokemon cards. Or no, don't take that as the moral. Take, if you take what's yours, then you'll have exactly what you want in life. I took Pokemon cards, and I had Pokemon cards. So, like, I mean, I've got a perfect life with all of my Pokemon cards. So, just take that as an example. So, I've got plenty more stories of stuff that's happened at my apartment complex and, other stories of my childhood. So, I mean, if you guys want to hear about those, go ahead and tell me, because they'll just start getting crazier and crazier. I'm kind of going to start at the lowest with, you know, Pokemon cards, because I don't really want to risk going to jail. But, from there, I'm just going to go ahead and end the video. So, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, evening, afternoon, night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll say hello to you guys in the next video. Peace out.
If this city was a kingdom, I'd want you to rule with me. Still worried for your safety after all our tomfoolery. And I know I'm probably freaking out foolishly. I just don't want the next thing that I write to be a eulogy in your honor. And I know you'd hate it too. All the petty little things that I'd associate with you, like stairwells, night veil, and beautiful smiles.